On the road to MotoGP, this is FAB-Racing.
Next up here at FAB, we're going to have the MotoTeam class. So the MotoTeam class are making their way out now for race 2, the second race of the weekend, the first race of the day here on Sunday. It's been a while since we're out in warm-up, but this year at MotoTeam we have something slightly different, make it slightly easier for us here in the commentary box, and that is team names are now a thing here in MotoTeam, hence the name. So it should be great. Of course, multiple riders competing on one bike. So we have teams such as Team Italia and Team KC. So it just gives us one name, and it doesn't matter. Well, it doesn't matter about the rider, but of course, like last year, we had sometimes no clue on what rider was on the bike, because they swap and change every single race and every single session. So it's going to be a great race, and it's healthy grids once again for the MotoTeam class.
Yeah, what's this? 12 riders on our sheets at least that qualified for our race. As you say, some team names were given, some were bestowed upon them by the race organisers with the lack of a further one, and a wait for their sighter lap. There you go then.
Yeah, so for the grid, it is going to be Will Howarth on pole position. Now, Will Howarth this year, I believe, is just racing on his own bike. So Will Howarth will start on pole position with a 46.951. Joining him will be the SFC Racing bike with Team Pinky and the Brain. That is Jamie King in third. Team Italia will start in fourth with Team ACME Racing in fifth. Robert Abel will start in sixth position. Now it's a 12 bike field, so Team KC will start in seventh with Team Ernie the Badger in eighth. Jamie Dis will start in ninth with Team Citic Engineering in 10th, with Team Bert in 11th, and rounding out our 12 bike grid will be Ben Martin for the MotoTeam class.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And what's the spec of these machines then, Lewis, that the riders will be taking on?
Yeah, so the riders, there's two classes going on in one race. We have the Super Stock 125 class, which is essentially a stock road bike turned slightly into a race bike. It's a very cheap way to get into racing, and then they'll go racing. The other class is the Open class, the Open 50 and the Super Stock 125. They're highly modified bikes. Some bikes have completely different specifications on them, but the lights will go on. And the lights will go out. It was a long hold. I believe there was a jump start there, but Will Howarth will lead the way into turn one with Team SFC Racing behind. So what is going to happen? We're going to have to wait and see. The riders pushing on straight away at the front. We seen last year, Will Howarth, if he gets in his rhythm, he can just run away with it. And last year's defending champions in the street stock class, it is Team Pinky and the Brain. It's Jamie King on the bike at the moment. He's quite easy to spot in his Sonic levers, of course, running his YouTube channel Pit Bike Sonic, taking inspiration for his levers and his helmet this year. So all riders making their way cleanly, making his way through, and these bikes are simply road bikes which are slightly modified into race bikes and raced on a go-kart track. So it's so great to see how strong they are and how hard they're having to push on, because there's 119 of Team Ernie the Badger and your race leader Will Howarth after lap 1, a 1.7 second gap. Once again, we just see Will Howarth get into a rhythm, which is a very, very dangerous situation as Team SFC Racing is chasing behind.
We've got a very busy midfield as well. To my eye, at least, it was bike 240, the Team Aimable bike that took the jump start, made up at least a row on the grid. So we'll wait to see if there's any penalty for that. But very, very busy in midfield here at the moment, down to less than a second between bikes 4th all the way down to bike 10 on our grid.
Yes, looks like it's going to be a great battle all the way through this race. Team Italia on the number 70 pushing on and making their way through. So what's going to happen? 10 laps to go in this race. It's going to be a very, very quick race. These bikes are so tricky to handle around this Lydd kart circuit. Actually, it looks like a bike slightly missing some straight line speed, but these bikes, you really have to drag them about, pull them along. It's essentially they're almost like super bikes for a go-kart circuit, because they're just so big and they're so powerful for such a tight and twisty and narrow circuit. So all the riders having to use all their body strength, all their effort, especially for this section here, to get get the bike flipped round for the left, then for the right, then the left, and then the right again before they lead on to the straight. So battle, as you said, forming in the midfield, but at the front it's Will Howard who leads the way with a 45.8, fastest lap of the race. And it looks like actually Team Italia has been passed by the 240 machine of
right now as well.
Robert
That's Team Aimable being expected, I think, to release the bike behind. There was a wave there from the rider behind from Team Italia. What do you think was going on there?
Yeah, potentially he's just saying if it's right behind through missed the gear. I don't really know, to be honest, because sometimes riders do symbols, think that it's obvious, but everyone else around them is just questioning it. But 9 laps to go in this race. Team Italia will be pushing on the number 70 and really wanting to get a good result. You can just see, side-by-side action
towards the grass as well.
Team Ernie the Badger making their way through the back section of the circuit. Such a tricky section to make a pass on, as we've learned so far today. Very rare that we see a pass done there, so very, very well achieved. Having a little look behind to see the other rider there down the inside, and you can just see going into the final corner how close they're practically leaning on each other to be able to defend.
Fantastic defence from Team Martin on bike 119 going in through the final corner. Really, really nice wide line, and cut no prisoners on the way on the inside.
Yeah, you can just see how hard they're having to push, how hard they're having to defend. Just in front of this is Team ACME Racing, and of course they're gonna have to try and just stay on this race. But the thing is, on these bikes being so big, you really have to either make a move early on in the corner or force a way past, which I think is what we're gonna have to see. They're gonna have to spend a couple of laps just learning to see where they can make the move and where they can make the pass before they fully commit. But there's just 7 laps to go in this race, so time is starting to run out.
As you say, very tight, and then down another launch down the inside. I think we just missed the what was happening on that particular battle, and I think still Team Martin managed to hold on the outside. No, Italia, Martin held on against Acme Racing, but Italia are in 5th at the moment with a personal best time of 48.9.
Yeah, so the 119 bike of Team Ernie the Badger leading this pack that we're seeing right now, and just behind them is the number 41 of Team KC. So a free bike battle at the moment, 7 laps to go in this race. What is going to happen? We're in the back section of the circuit once again. You can see actually the rider on that Team Ernie the Badger bike is really got a unique riding style. It's almost an old school riding style where they keep their upper body weight centred on the motorbike while they lean. But round the outside actually is Team KC on the number 41. Will they make it work? Yes, they will. Coming out the final corner now, 6 laps to go in this race. What is going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. Team Ernie the Badger is going to have to push, and going to have to push now, because it looks like they're already getting caught up on by Team Dis.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that 119 car struggling at the moment. It was struggling to hold on to its position, and now it's being caught from behind as well. Look, check out the lap times that are going in from Will Howard there. 45 second times. The nearest car to him is on a 47, Lewis.
Yeah, Will Howard leading the way and leading the way in lap times, as you mentioned. Almost 1.5 seconds faster than the rider behind. It just shows how great he is as a rider, how confident he is on that bike, and whenever that he gets that bike running right, singing and dancing, it just seems they're at 1, and that is how you build an 8.6 second lead. He's coming to a back marker now, and he gets past, I believe that is Team Burt, and he manages to get way past Team Burt. So Will Howard coming across the line once again. 4 laps to go this time around. It looks like it's all in his control, and the only person that can beat Will Howard at the moment is himself.
Yes, absolutely. He's in a race with himself at the moment, and obviously passing back markers as well. That bike behind him is not the second place Team SFC. That is the back marker he's just overtaken. So SFC in second, Team Pinky in the Brain in 3rd place with Aimable, Italia, Acme, Casey, Ernie and the Badger, Dish, C-Tech and Team Bird at the back.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen. You can still see that although Will Howard has over a 9-second lead, he's still pushing on. He's still trying to get faster laps and get personal best laps. What's going to happen this time around? He's into the 45s. Once again, just 0.4 of a second from his fastest lap of the race. That is an incredible time with that much of a gap when you actually don't need to be pushing the same. And now the MotoTeam lap record is of course held by Will Howarth, but instead it's a 43 flat.
Wow.
So there's still a little bit off lap record pace. That could just to be with the wind, and with it being the start of the season, the first full proper race day of season. So these riders still just getting used to maybe changes in the bike, changes in suspension, and maybe a different setup from what they've been using previously, and just getting used to racing here in 2023. Of course, this is the first round of FAB. It's a double header and a lot of racing this weekend for these riders.
A great deal of racing. It's starting the season with a real bang to make sure that they can get themselves back into the rhythm and the groove that they need to be for a full season. As you say, 8 race meetings.
Yeah, 8 race meetings this year. The MotoTeam will be attending every single one of them. On your screen is the Team SciTech engineering bike. They currently sit in 11th position on the number 11 actually, so it just proves that consistency is key. But Team SFC Racing coming through our picture now, second place bike, and there is actually Will Howarth managing to get past and lap the Team Ernie the Badger bike. So what an impressive ride that is. They're currently in 9th position as Team Ernie the Badger, so it just proves right now he's just cutting his way through the field like a knife through butter. Yeah,
that's what 3 or 4 second a lap difference adds up to, especially with the field spread that builds after the first few laps. But 2 to go now, and Will Howarth is absolutely on it here. 10.8 seconds.
Yeah, last lap time, 1 lap to go. This race, Will Howarth leads the way from Team SFC Racing. What is going to happen? Can he stay on? He just has to manoeuvre himself round 1 more corner, a long sweeping right-hander. He brakes, he sticks his head up, he puts his knee flat on the floor, waiting to see that checker flag, that glory. He's still pushed out the final corner. Will Howarth takes the race win and takes the fastest lap of the race, a 45.373 on the final lap of the race.
He was pushing so hard through there as well. That is Team SFC finally coming to cross the line in second place, and a wave out to the crowd as well. A 13-second difference, but there's no shade on Team SFC, who pushed all the way. Team Pinky and the Brain are still yet to finish. Now they cross the line, 25 seconds away from Will Howarth's win, and we saw an entire field come home in 25 seconds from the leader earlier on. That is a difference in performance. But tremendous stuff there, and there you have Will Howarth on screen, and that's a 13-second winning margin.
Yep, Team SFC Racing is in second place with Pinky and the Brain behind. Team Aimbull is in 4th, finishes in 4th position with Team Italia in 5th. Team ACME Racing is in 6th position, Team Acne, and Team Martin is in 7th, Team KC is in 8th, Team Ernie and the Badger in 9th, and Team Dis in 10th in the MotoTeam race. A lot of teams in in that final standings.
Yeah, that's exactly what the name of the series indicates. It is MotoTeam.
Next up will be the final race of the day for the MotoTeam class, and what a race one we had. It was Will Howarth who looked very, very strong on the number 96. Will Howarth racing in both the MotoTeam and the senior Minimotos this weekend, so double the track time for him, and it's clearly paying off.
Absolutely, yeah. It's your favourite race of the of the day, isn't it? Calling all those names that have team in them. But yeah, we've got SFC on second on the grid there, next to Will Howarth. But Will has had a very successful race. Is that Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah, it's Jamie King, Pit Bike Sonic on YouTube. Go check him out. And this year, HGC released a Sonic helmet, so he thought, why not get some Sonic levers to go with it?
Very, very nice indeed. Get all the retro feels for someone of my age anyway for Sonic, which is great. Are we missing our pole sitter at the moment, or is he just being stylishly late?
Stylishly late, it seems.
You see the team liveries on the bikes. There's your Team Acme on the right of screen, and through we go then to start the cycle lap for the grid, which we'll have for you shortly. starting from the pole position will be Will Howarth in Team Will Howarth, I think, followed by SFC Racing, then Team Pinky and the Brain, and Team Italia on row 2. On row 3, Acme Racing and the Aimable, Robert Aimable's bike. And then comes row 4, Team KC and Team Ernie and the Badger. Then we have on row 5, Jamie Diss, and next to him, Team Cytec Engineering, followed by Bert and Ben Martin at the back of the grid in 12th position.
Yeah, it's going to be a great race this time around. Can anyone match Will Howarth's pace? A 46.9 he put in qualifying. Race 1, even faster. It's just on a 50cc open bike. Of course, 2 classes in this race, the standard and the open. We'll keep you updated on who the class winners are this time around, and of course the overall race winner. So the riders now waiting on the grid and in the sunshine here at Lydd. They point to the lights will go on, and the lights go off, and Will Howarth looks to have made a great start, and he well leaked away from Team SFC Racing. Team SFC Racing is just behind in second, as there's Jamie King on that Team Pinky and the Brain bike in the Sonic Levers in third. Of course, last year's Super Stock Championship. So what can Jamie King do, and can he make any more positions? So Will Howarth leading the way, and straight away it looks like he's not pulling away from Team SFC Racing.
Very, very close between Aimable and Team Italia. Oh, was that a touch between the riders? But Team Italia going backwards and trying to find some position on the racetrack. But Will Howarth leading away, and a challenge then down the inside from SFC as he outbrakes himself. He's just about rescued it on the exit of the apex, and away they go, and taking the lead. Team SFC with a 49.225 with Team Pinky and the Brain in the Sonic Leathers just waiting and in third position at the moment, and the top 4 starting to gap. Well, maybe the top 5 we shall see as they progress through this next lap, but a great move there, Lewis, from SFC. Yeah,
very, very surprising at the moment. Actually, I would say Will Howarth does not have the pace that he had in race 1, at least, unless if he's just buying this time, giving us a race this time around. Pulls the pin. We're going to have to wait and see what he does, but Will Howarth incredibly fast, as there is Team Italia on the back of Pinky and the Brain. But Will Howarth looking down the inside, can he make it work? No, he cannot this time around. Number 96. We come around, let's look at the lap times this time around. I think it'll be very interesting, very telling.
There he is.
Both of them in the 46s. So Team SFC looks to have the pace.
Yeah, and faster than their pole times as well, pole and second place times. So tremendous a change of performance so far. SFC opened the door though, and it looks like Will Howarth needs no second invitation into the middle of the racetrack, into the long sweeping right-hander where he himself was vulnerable on the previous lap. Back into the lead then goes Will Howarth.
Yeah, Will Howarth into the lead now. What can SFC do? Can they keep up? Can they keep up the pace and match it? But Pinky and the Brain with Jamie King on it, battling still with Team Italia as they're coming through a back marker. It appears they might have some issues this early on. Yeah, it looks like they're going into the pit lead, but Jamie King was very, very cool with that Sonic helmet, I have to say, and his DRC levers. But Will Howarth at the front, a 46 again this time around, consistently at the front, but SFC only 3/10
right there with him, SFC, and as you say, Pinky and the Brain not too far away either. Team Italia coming up had a bit of a rough start, but back up where they started and starting to pressurise Pinky and the Brain. Will Howarth in the lead of our race, but only by 1.5 tenths of a second.
Yeah, only 1.5 tenths of a second. And SFC Racing looks down the inside. He makes a move on Will Howarth. That is so impressive to see. What can Will Howarth do? Can he battle back? Will he battle back, or will he sit behind and just try to learn something for 1 or 2 laps? Maybe see where he's losing the time in that final corner, how he can improve it. Although that time around, a 47.3 from Will Howarth, so we know he can do faster than that.
Absolutely, but he's vulnerable on the brakes into that final corner. SFC have been super strong, and then again, it's almost, although these two corners are incredibly similar, I think it's the build-up to the corner that means that Will Howarth has got the greater corner speed and entry on the mid in the second sector, but in the final sector, it's all about SFC.
Yeah, and these guys, they're not only battling for the overall win right now, they're battling for the class win, and there's SFC trying down the inside, but Will Harris shutting the door. So right now, they are battling for the overall win and the MotoTeam Open class win. And now Team Pinky in the Brain in third position is actually leading the MotoTeam standard class, and just behind them is Team Italia in second place in that standard class. So it's a great race, 2 races in one, and all of them wanting to finish overall first.
Absolutely, but yeah, absolutely. They've got different performances. Will Howarth, fastest lap that time, it was a 46.286. Team Italia absolutely crowding the rear wheel of Pinky in the Brain, and down the inside and round, and an unusual place to pass.
Yeah, quite an unusual place. Takes a lot of bravery around there. Jamie King maybe just got a bit startled there from passing in that position. But last time around, Will Howarth was 6/10 faster than SFC. This time around, it cruelly is not that. SFC, I think, are faster. Yes, they are 1/10 faster this time around than Will Howarth. What can SFC do? And just behind them, it's Team Italia, who look to have the pace. They're already catching, it seems, on first and second.
Italia have been building pace all the way through this race, despite the poor start. Up into P3 now, and starting to crowd around the back of SFC, who we know can get a good overtake done on the brakes down into the final corner.
Yeah, they certainly can. 6 laps to go in this race. It looks like Pinky in the Brain with Jamie King on it has dropped back slightly, so you have to wonder where he's losing that time. Maybe just in that fast and swift that position in sector 2, but I am just hearing from it here that Team Burt has rejoined the race. 339 as SFC Racing looks down the inside. It is clear Will Howarth is not getting away this time around.
No, absolutely no. He doesn't have it all his own way with SFC right behind him, but the wider SFC go, the more vulnerable they're going to be to Team Italia, who are in that black and yellow livery with the yellow wheels there. Fantastic performance so far, and just biding their time. 5 laps to go, plenty really still to make a move and make it stick, as Will Howarth holds on for now.
Yeah, holds on for now anyway, and Will Howarth 96, and will he be able to increase his gap? Look at that gap come down. His gap almost gets halved at the final corner alone, and now SFC is going to look up the inside his first corner. If he cannot make it work, he's going to need a great lap to stick with him by the end, because we know Will Howarth is so good in sector 2. But of course, it's not all about young riders here at FAB. It's a class for all ages, and you're seeing it right here. If you want to get involved in this series or any of this series, go into the FAB-Racing website or the FAB-Racing Facebook page. And of course, the MotoTeam class, an expert to speak to would be Jamie King. I don't think he would mind if you message him on Facebook to ask him all about it. But right now, Jamie King is in 4th position on Team Pinky in the Brain, while Will Howarth on the Will Howarth Racing bike is in 1st. But look at that, in the straight line speed as well, SFC look to have the upper hand. Yeah,
another great manoeuvre. I think that might be 3rd or 4th time down into the final corner that SFC have made it stick, and another fastest lap of 46.0 from SFC. Perhaps it's time to unlock the true pace potential of the race, but Team Italia slip back slightly off the back of this battle at the top. The front 2 really picking up the pace now.
Yeah, they are, and Will Howarth, I almost have to wonder if his bike's running completely right, because it seems that he's just struggling, especially in straight line speed, and then that braking isn't helping him at all in that final corner. SFC looked up the upper hand in the straight line, but Jamie King now on the Team Pinky in the Brain is battling, I believe, with Team Aimball. So there we go, diving down the inside, reclaiming that 4th position on the number 1 bike.
Really had a problem on the previous lap, but SFC hold on for another lap. We've only got 2 to go now. We've had 10 laps, and SFC in the lead against Will Howarth, and Team Italia just being gapped now by a fair distance. So here, this is where it's this corner that Will Howarth is stronger, and it's the final corner that SFC are stronger.
Yeah, it seems so. So 2 laps to go in this race. Yellow flags are out in this sector 2. And there's the bike stopped actually, so can they get it restarted? We have to wait and see. I can't see a number on that bike, but hopefully they can get themselves back in the race. And there's the battle at the front. Will Howarth closed up the gap there, it seemed, actually in the final corner, but the back marker looked to be at play.
I think that was more to do with the back marker. I can't imagine he suddenly unlocked some performance on the car, but he did get a fastest lap, as you rightly point out. SFC defensive through the S's. But it is the final lap of the race. Will Howarth going faster. This is where he goes for a move very frequently, but he doesn't quite make it stick. What's it going to be, Lewis? Is he going to tackle onto the next one? And he is. Another good attempt, but it's just not enough. We're gonna finish up at full speed shortly down this long back straight as down the outside tries Will Howarth, but it's actually SFC who've claimed the inside of this circuit. Just needs to get a good throttle application on the way out and completes a race win for Team SFC, and it means that much to them to beat Will Howarth in a fair fight.
Yeah, well deserved. It should mean that much because Will Howarth, wow, what a great race that was, and SFC, they surprised themselves. Will Howarth, can he fight back tomorrow in round 2 of the championship? But that was race 3 of round 1 today. It's a double header here at Lydd, and that was free for the MotoTeam class. SFC is racing around, and there's Chris Wells.
Fight for the line.
Chris Wells defending perfectly there and managing just to come across the line and just end the position from Team KC. So great race, and there's the final couple of bikes crossing line. I believe that's a Triumph 675 front end on the Team Disc bike. So great race that was there, and a great variety of bikes.
Absolutely, yeah, really good. And of course, as you rightly were talking about earlier, Team Italia and Team Pinky in the Brain in the class victory and second place for the MotoTeam standard, with Team Acme Racing taking the third place overall for the MotoTeam Open class in 5th.
So Team SFC Racing will win this third race of the MotoTeam class by 0.3 of a second over Will Howarth. Team Italia and Team Pinky in the Brain will be in 3rd and 4th position. Acme Racing and Team KC will be in 5th and 6th, with Team Dis, Team Ernie the Badger and Team Citic Engineering in 8th and 9th. And rounding out our top 10 will be Team Aimball after a great final MotoTeam race of round 1 here at FAB.
Yeah, really good. It's great to see those different bikes in operation, and another really competitive, fantastic work. That's everything over for the Sunday over for the team riders, but we'll see them again tomorrow, I'm sure. Team SFC and Will Howarth, a fantastic battle in that race, and hopefully we'll see some more of that.